Hi YouTube, it's Mr. Dodo8449 here, and this is my 350 subscribers special video. So before we begin, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who's clicked that subscribe button, and really appreciate it. You know, all the likes, all the comments, just generally talking to people, giving, taking advice, really do just challenge people basically. So yeah, so thanks everyone for doing that. So as you hopefully know from previous videos, I'm planning on doing a Q&A sort of session type thing. The format is going to work. In the background there's going to be some locos running. There's going to be some pictures, maybe the odd little video and so on. But that they'll sort of give you like a good look of the whole layout and all the work and everything I've done on it. And yeah, hopefully that'll be a good way to, as well as obviously listen to the questions, you can also see the results of my hard work so far. There's also another little special review thing. I think it's quite a useful piece of kit, but you'll see what that is later on. So I don't actually know how long this video is going to be, probably in 2 parts as well. But anyway, yeah, sit back and enjoy it, and once again, thanks so much for subscribing.
Okay then, so I have loads of questions. Thank you so much to everyone who sent in a question. As what we'll do is just read out the question, and then on screen somewhere there will be a subtitle with the name of the channel we put them in. Yeah, just go and check out all these channels. They're all really good channels and so on. So, first question then. What model would you like to get next? What engines do you plan on buying in the future? Now, the next model I'm trying or hoping to buy, I can't really tell you about. That's going to be a bit of a surprise for a later date. But other than that, I'd quite like a class 14XX or 48XX in the GWR green livery. People who don't know, that's the 042 loco, the little tanker. I think they look quite cool. How long has it taken to build your layout? Well, the layout which you're currently looking at on screen has taken me only about 4 months to get to that sort of stage. I've had absolutely loads of time to work on it, and yeah, it's going really well. Obviously, during those 4 months I had a 3-month break when I went away, so less than 7 months. But anyway, previous layout to that, I was working on that for about 8 months before I decided to scrap it. Just didn't run properly. And my shelf layout, I was only working on that for about 3 months before I wanted to make it bigger. What loco would you like to see an RCR company make next? Now, apologies if I don't quite understand this question properly, but there's a little loco in the SDJR fleet, I believe it was number 17, which is basically, layout of it is a 240, and it looks like the 14XX that the GWR make. It's that sort of shape of loco but without a roof. I think they look really cool, and I'd sort of really like to see that loco made. What is your favourite loco? Well, my favourite loco I own is the one that you just saw previous to the BR1. It's the GWR Class 56XX. It's an absolutely brilliant loco built by Bachmann. It's really well detailed, especially for the price I paid. It's really smooth run. It just runs beautifully over all the tracks and all the points. I've had no problem with it. How many locos do you have? Well, I have got 5 locos on the layout. I've got another loco in the box. I haven't got that one out recently. I've just had no room really to run it or anything, but we need to get that one out soon actually. And I'm hoping to buy a few more locos in the not too far future. What was your first model? Well, my first model was a 040 shunter by Triang, I believe it was, and it was the blue one with gold or yellow lining around the tanks. Sorry, I can't tell you any more than that, but I'm sure someone will know what I'm on about. What is your favourite preserved line? To be honest, I haven't been on barely any preserved lines. I've just never really had the time or the ability to go and sort of spend a day somewhere. I hope to do that a bit more sort of, well, in the future at some point, but from the lines that I've seen, I think that there is a very nice line down in the south of England. It's a 15-inch gauge line. Basically, you have the standard gauge, which is 4 for 8.5 inches, narrow gauge, which is about 2 foot, 2 foot and a half, and then you have 15-inch gauge, which is basically a third of normal scale. And I just think the locos look absolutely brilliant. Local to me, there's a couple of close ones to me. I've never really been around to look at them much, so I can't really comment on those. Why GWR? Well, 2 reasons for this. The second one is just more practical. The first reason is GWR is the local region to me. I always have thought that they've made the best locos. That's just in my opinion. They never really went for the fastest locos or the most luxury for like the Queen and anything like that. They just went for beautifully simple locos, easy to maintain, really reliable, and absolutely beautifully engineered. Some of the bridges on the sort of the GWR region, Isambard King Brunel was an absolute genius, so that's why GWR. The other reason is I'm not the only one. Hornby and Bachmann seem to also love GWR, and they seem to be kicking out more GWR stuff than any other of the big four. So yeah, that's the other reason. If you could ride on the footplate of any engine, what would you choose? Now, there are 3 locos that I would like to run on. I'm assuming this is just for a single run, and they would be the Mallard as it went to its top speed, the Flying Scotsman as it went over 100, and the Rocket as it just was on that competition. I cannot remember what it was called, but anyway, yeah. What steam engine out of the gathering is your favourite? Well, as for the previous question, it's Mallard. I know it's quite a standard one, but it's the one with the reputation, the one that was the fastest steamer in the world. So yeah. Oh, sorry, just to clarify, the gathering is the A4, the 75th anniversary. So yeah. If you could work for any region in the 1940s, what region would it be? Well, obviously GWR. If I had to go a bit more specialised than that, a bit more smaller than that, it'd be the Somerset and Dorset Joint Railway. I've always thought that's a really interesting line. Is there any this is a slightly different question actually. Is there any locos, be it steam or diesel, that you dislike the most, and if so, what is it? To be honest, I'm a steam man. I absolutely love steam engines. I think they're absolutely beautiful machines. Saying that, I find diesels are really, really genius. They were just such a big leap forward from the steam engine. Some of those steam engines from cold could take most of the day to get going. A diesel one, key in and push the start button. I just thought that was absolutely brilliant. They make some good locos. Now, as for what I don't sort of like is anything electric. Unfortunately, I'm not a fan of electric locos. The modern day locos are just built for speed and economy and money saving, whereas the locos of old were built to be impressive. Next question. How did I make the paving slabs for my platform? Well, you're in luck. There is a 30-minute tutorial just after this, which shows you exactly how I make those slabs. So if you hang on to the end of the video, you can see it then. Next question. Did you see any locos during your travels in Tanzania? And if so, did you get any photos? Unfortunately, I didn't see any locos. The main sort of line or railway that goes through Tanzania basically comes down from Nairobi in Kenya down to Dar es Salaam into Dodoma and then out towards South Africa, and they don't really come anywhere near the region that I was in, so unfortunately I didn't see any locos. How long have you been on YouTube? Precisely to the day, it would be 2 years, 3 months and 11 days. I'm actually making this now on the Monday, so yeah. And anyone's interested, my first video was on the 25th of April 2011. Now that's how long I've actually been having my channel. I was probably on YouTube for about maybe 6 to 8 months before that, just subscribing to people and looking through all your channels and stuff before I actually got the idea of making my own. What was your favourite thing about model railroading? Well, for me, it's got to be the scenery. I absolutely love just sitting down with a clean baseboard, bit of paint on there, bit of static grass, a few trees, and you've made something that looks really realistic. It looks really good. That's kind of what I go for, is realism more than a layout you can just play with and use. So yeah, I really enjoy doing the scenery. If you had £300 to spend on your layout, what would you buy? Well, there's obviously 2 locos I would like to buy, the 14XX or 48XX GWR livery, and this little special loco that I haven't told you about. Other than that, there's a couple of wagons I'd like to buy, and the final thing I'd try and buy is just more general scenery, especially trees. I've discovered I found it very difficult to make really good looking trees that are quite tall. I've sort of cracked how to make little trees, sort of 10 centimetre high trees. But anything bigger than that, I can't really make them look very good, and they cost about £25 to buy good quality ones. So hopefully, yeah, that'd be the final thing I'd buy. Why do you model what you model? Well, I model steam area 1940s because, as I said, I absolutely love steam. I think they're beautiful machines. I model GWR mainly because that's my favourite region. It's my local region of the Big Four, so that's why I use that. I also think they make brilliant locos. And the countryside is simple enough. I live in the countryside. I look out the window for inspiration on colours, tree designs, things like that. So that's the reasons why. Are you going to build a fiddle yard area, or will the layout be a complete oval? Well, a bit more complicated than it sounds, that question. If I had the room, it'd be an oval. I've got a track plan designed for a complete oval, but unfortunately I don't quite have the room to complete it. So at the moment it is only going to be a fiddle yard, but hopefully it won't be like that for too long, and I will be able to get the complete oval finished. How did you get into the hobby? Well, I started when I was about 8. I think I went to like a vintage Steam show somewhere, and they saw lots of steam traction engines, things like that, which got me interested in steam. I just thought they were brilliant. And then from that, I've just moved my way onto locomotives, and then from that, I went on to my first Hornby set, which would have been the Smokey Joe set, actually. I had a little baseboard in my room. I put in the track plan for A to D, and then I kind of stopped for about 3 years, and then I got back into the hobby. So that's just quickly how I got into the hobby. Yeah, just basically that show and just seeing all the steam engines. And finally, what is the layout called? Well, I wanted a name that worked both well as a name, but also worked geographically. Now, Coombe Hill is the name I came up with. I think it's got a good ring to it. There's a hill at one end of my layout. There's going to be a hill at the other end of my layout, which will create a valley. And Coombe is another word for a valley or a basin at the bottom of a valley. Hence, Coombe Hill. I think it just works really well.
Okay then, so to answer that previous question I said I'd do at the end of the video, very quickly, how do I do my paving slabs? Well, pick up a ruler and a brown pen of some form. Use brown, very fine tip if you can. Is what you do is you just pick up your ruler and you go 9mm, draw a line, 9mm, draw a line, 9mm, draw a line, and go all the way along. In my case, along this grey bit here, so I'm just going to do that. Then very quickly just draw your line on the inside and on the outside. Pick up your ruler and just join up all the dots you've done all the way along. It's as simple as that. And if you want to, you can leave it at that stage as the paving slabs. Now, it looks a lot better if you do this next stage. Next thing you do is you pick up a very fine flat-bladed screwdriver, turn it on its edge, and then you just put glue where you would like there to be any static grass. Now the only other thing I've done is I've added the paving slabs for the front edge as well. These are basically 1.5, the ones in the background. Then the next stage is just to pick up some scatter of some form, and very simply this bit, sprinkle it all over it, let it dry, sweep it off, and you'll have a finish that looks exactly like it is on the other side over here. So that is quite quickly how I make those paving slabs, and hopefully you can use that on your layout. It's very quick and very simple.